Answered in the appearance of Boyd and McNamara on that team sheet. Tom Boyd replaces Olivier Kebele, and Jackie McNamara gets the nod for the central midfield berth in the absence of the suspended Alan Thompson, with Lubo Moravcik held in reserve on the bench. It's a mouth-watering prospect, this, Eric, is it not?
Oh, it certainly is, Rob. It's a wonderful, wonderful atmosphere. It's really European football night. It's a big European night. And it'll be very interesting to see how the teams line up. We had news earlier there that Ajax might go with a back four, 2 defensive midfield players, and go with 2 wide players with a striker up and 1 off them. So that would certainly pose Celtic maybe the problems initially. But I'm sure Martin O'Neill knows all about that and he's capable of adjusting it.
Almost full to capacity as the match gets underway. 50,000 inside the Amsterdam ArenA. And a match of huge significance for Celtic and Martin O'Neill. They swept the boards in domestic football last season, but can they take things to a new level in Europe? They've been underachievers in recent times in Europe. They've never qualified for the Champions League, and there have been disappointing defeats in recent times against the likes of Bordeaux and Lyon, Croatia, Zagreb and Zurich, and a lot of people would reckon it's time Celtic delivered on the big stage. An early free kick opportunity for them. Johan Mjalby has gone forward to support Chris Sutton. Agathe in the box, Larsson and Valharen as well. Bobby Petta is there, but he looks as if he's going to leave it to Neil Lennon. An early test of the Ajax defence. Firmly headed away by Christian Chivu, the Romanian captain, only 20. And big roar going round the arena as Ajax mount their first attack. That's aimed at Ikedia, the Nigerian. Back with Shibu. Breaking forward, Mido, the Egyptian. Not too troublesome for the Celtic defence. Played away by Tom Boyd and put out by Didier Agathe. That's a useful ball in. Good delivery on the cross ball, and that was Nikos Maklas, the Greek international, with the header.
Yeah, one thing for sure, Rob, if they get balls into the box, Maklas is a lethal finisher. I think he was a golden boot about 2-3 years ago, so he's a lethal finisher, and if they can get that type of quality into the box, then Celtic certainly will have a game in their hands.
34 goals in 32 games he scored for VHS ArenA a couple of seasons back, which won him that Golden Boots award, and he is a clear threat. 44 times capped by the Greek national side. That was Shibu winning the header against Agathe. Lennon under pressure plays the ball away to Tom Boyd. Boyd, who hasn't had any first-team action for Celtic this season, but Martin O'Neill untroubled about the prospect of slotting him straight back in place of Olivier Kebele, who played in the back three at the weekend. Johan Mjalby, one of the cornerstones of the Celtic defence. His throw aimed at the head of Henrik Larsson, but he was being watched very closely by Christian Chivu. Paul Lambert, who surprised even himself at the start of the season with his goal touch. Good skill from Larsson. A chance for Petta, possibly, but very quickly off his line was Fred Grimm, the Amsterdammer. Good safe hand. That's given away to Neil Lennon. Chris Sutton trying to thread that through for Henrik Larsson. Yakubu, the interceptor. Shibu, awkward ball. I don't think he practiced that one on the training ground. Tom Boyd controlled between his knees, but it was effective. Rob Douglas with the clearance, and Chris Sutton sent sprawling by Shibu's challenge. Free kick. Celtic settling to the task. Agathe pushed that too far ahead, but he'll be looking to ask some serious questions early on, Eric, of Shivu.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I think that's the key to the game at this moment in time. It's the two wide players. It's whether Petta and Agathe can push up quickly and get possession of the ball, which obviously will take their two wide players back. or will the Ajax manage to keep possession and get their away players on the game? So it's a difficult, interesting, tactical one at this moment in time.
Trebelsi, the Tunisian, played up, and useful control as well from Maklas. But again, a poor pass, hands possession back to Celtic, but Henrik Larsson couldn't keep it. Yakubu, one of two Nigerians in the Ajax side tonight, and that's Petri Hassanen, the Finnish international. It's a multinational setup at Ajax, only two Dutch players starting the match for them, and an average age of 22. Quite incredible at this sort of level, but some impressive youngsters they have, including this man Shibu. Van der Vaart, young Dutchman, he's just 18. Yakubu, good one from Ikedia, but couldn't quite catch it.
No, he looks an exceptional talent, absolutely lightning with the ball, both at his feet and without the ball. And at times there, once or twice, he's been 1v1 with Ilharan, which obviously I'm sure Celtic will try and quickly get cover across to him, but he looks a real threat offensively, but certainly when he loses the ball, Robbie doesn't look too interested in getting it back.
Nearly 6 minutes gone, the BBC live match. Ajax 0, Celtic 0 in the Amsterdam ArenA. Yakubu. Muscled out of it there by Chris Sutton. Keen to play football out from the back, the Nigerian, but Sutton wasn't having it. Lambert and Lennon combine, they do it so well. Sutton, good touch. That's useful. And Bloom panics. Petta! Celtic are ahead! The Dutchman puts them in front in Amsterdam. A bad mistake by goalkeeper Grimm, living up to his surname. 1-0 Celtic.
Oh yeah, it's a wonderful turn from Chris Sutton. He took the ball in so well, protected it so well. Here we see it here, Robbie's first touch is excellent. He knows where he wants to put it. Lovely clip. Goalkeeper panics completely. He could let that go through, but what a wonderful composed finish by Bobby Petta, and what a wonderful start for Celtic.
Just placed into the roof of the net by Bobby Petta. Took a miserable season last season. Injury denied him a lot of action, but that is a sweet moment as he returns to his native country and fires Celtic ahead. And Fred Grimm will not be too keen to watch back the videotape of that moment as he palmed the ball straight into the path of Petta, but it was a cool and a clinical finish, and that gives Celtic the start they dreamed of. Neil Lennon in possession, trying to pick out Larsson. And the songs being sung in Amsterdam are Celtic songs. Rafael van der Vaart for Ajax to Christian Chivu. Peeling off was Nikos Maklas, waiting for the pass to reach him. Johan Mjalby was in the way. Yakubu skids away from Trebelsi. Did very cool, the central defender for Ajax, but maybe a bit too casual there with the pass.
Yeah, bit of flat passing there, Robert. It'll be really interesting now to see how they react to going a goal down. They certainly knew that if they scored the goal quickly, they got the confidence up, they would have certainly been an exceptional team. Questions will now be asked of their mentality, and let's see how they answer. It's very important now that Celtic can keep possession of the ball, at least for the next 10-15 minutes. Larsson obviously still a threat, but if we can get Lambert on the ball, then I'm sure he'll keep possession.
And Rob Douglas's towel getting him into a bit of bother with officialdom. He's being asked to remove it from the side netting, and that was the cause of that little delay. Much ado about not a lot. Sutton, who started the game so well for Celtic, and that was Daniel Cruz, Colombian youth international. He's just 20. I suppose the oddities about the Ajax team are the players of over 22-23. They stick out, and Bobby Petta a standout for that 7th minute strike, which keeps Celtic in front. Yakubu with the clearance. Names like Price and Kroll and Neeskens and Rijkaard and Van Basten and Bergkamp all echo then the memory banks of the Ajax fans, but it's a new era for them. They hope they're building towards something successful, and they've got an awful lot of talent here. But Celtic are hopeful that they can be good enough, experienced enough, strong enough to get through this qualifier, which unlocks the door to the Champions League. Agathe, slipping and sliding. It is a surface which can cut up if the dampness gets in. There was talk about putting the roof on tonight in the event of rain, but as it is, it's bright and it's dry, and the roof is back. And the pitch open to the elements. It's been relayed 25 times since the stadium was built, and that's only 6 years ago, Eric. That's an amazing statistic, isn't it?
It certainly is. It's obviously it's a wonderful stadium, but I can imagine that there would be problems with the grass and getting natural light into it. But they seem to have remedied it. It's a wonderful, wonderful pitch this evening. We were down there earlier, and it certainly looks wonderful. So no excuses.
Van der Vaart with the throw, kicks it down by Maklas. Played wide by Yakubu to Ukedia. Tiny figure. Great balance and control. The pressure being applied to Daniel Cruz by Bobby Petta. Back it goes all the way to goalkeeper Grimm. And that might be a name which spawns a few headlines in the morning papers, where the scoreline to stay like this. Yakubu again, it's poor distribution. This hit though by Valharan, helping him out, his defensive buddy. Johan Mjalby, back it goes to Rob Douglas, and no threats so far in that Celtic rear guard. 11 minutes gone. Sutton loses it. Shibu gets it back from Mido. Good movement up front from Maklas. Back from Lambert.
That's a wonderful play from Paul Lambert. They're getting back very quickly to help out the back three, and any lack of touch for the striker, the Ajax striker, he's there to mop it up and quickly regain possession for Celtic.
Henrik Larsson, we haven't seen too much of him so far, but that's always a dangerous phrase to use, because he's almost his most dangerous when he's at his most quiet. Agathe. Bit of wrestling going on to try to deny him the space he was looking for in the wide position. Mido, the Egyptian. 18 certainly doesn't look it. He scored half a dozen goals in Ajax's last warm-up match in the last midweek. Sutton's way off, intercepted by Shibu. Yakubu, Ukedia against Valharan. And Jos Valharan will hope that he can catch that. He's quick enough to get there to prevent that going behind for the corner kick, and he's given a passing option by Neil Lennon. Petta's lost it because Maklas has it. Petta working hard, adding industry to his early goal touch. Henrik Larsson was knocked over by Passanen, free kick. Dutch fans don't fancy that decision. Going against their young central defender. If you've just joined us, you'll see the scoreline. Ajax 0, Celtic 1. Bobby Petta. Sutton's touch. Larsson, instant control. Sutton again trying to drive his way into the box. It breaks back for Henrik Larsson. Waiting for his moment to lay the ball off to Petta. McNamara into the penalty box. He's got some room as well. If Petta can find him. In goes Sutton. Lost his footing at the key moment. Kept in by Agathe. That's a throw of Shibu. The pace and the power of Didier Agathe is such an important weapon to Celtic. Hesitation from Lambert and allowing Mido the chance to clear. But Celtic keeping Ajax hemmed in.
Celtic have started very, very positively. Again, Bobby Petta showing just how quick he is. Wonderful quick feet and a great delivery. And I think if Sutton hadn't been impeded just slightly, there's another goal chance for Celtic.
It's a goal kick of Didier Agathe. I'm sure Martin O'Neill might be charged one of these days with daylight robbery for what he paid Hib to get Agathe to Celtic. I think £35,000 was the initial fee. And to say he's blossomed is putting it mildly, and Celtic now with a big asset on their hands. He's putting pressure on Shibu. Celtic doing well at closing down, shutting the space. Neil Lennon prominent there. And Chris Sutton using his physical presence to great advantage there against Yakubu. Ajax haven't been allowed to settle by Celtic. That's been crucial so far. Lennon trying to create. Out wide is Agathe. Useful ball in. It was curling away from Grimm and headed behind by Pasana.
Yeah, wonderful delivery against Celtic. That's twice now in the last 2 to 3 minutes that Celtic have had very, very good crosses into a very dangerous area. Grimm, as the goalkeeper, couldn't possibly come into that area. And if we can continue with that service and that type of delivery, then Celtic will certainly score again.
And they have a set-piece opportunity here. McNamara and Petta over the ball. Bobby Petta's cross is wicked. It's off the crossbar. It's panned away by Grimm. Ajax survive, and Celtic within inches of going 2 ahead.
Yeah, very, very close again there. Just as we said prior to that, a great delivery into the box. Larsson getting the flick on it. Didn't quite go over the line. Lovely glancing header, but that's a real threat, and they really are causing them problems with Sutton and Larsson's ability in the air.
Larsson, this time no challenge on Grimm, and he's able to grab it. But he is a one-rattled goalkeeper after only 16 and a half minutes. He's been busy and beaten once already. Free kick given against the late Celtic challenge there, quickly taken. Yalby's clearance, Larsson's way off. McNamara to Petta, switch side. Sutton come over to take the corner kick on the right. He stayed on this side. 3 Ajax players around him. Back to Agathe, further back to Yalby. Good header from Shibu. Yalby cleverly directing that to Agathe. Yakubu got there before Larsson. But Ajax unable to be creative in these early stages. It's Celtic are causing all the problems.
Yeah, Celtic are looking very, very comfortable, Rob, at this moment in time. Ajax still have a threat, and it's important that they continue to be disciplined defensively, Celtic, but they're doing that very well, and what they are doing is pressing the game wonderfully. They're waiting to the right time. They know Ajax want to play out from the back. They're allowing them possession just in the mid area there, and then suddenly they're all pushing forward. Lennon, McNamara and the wing-backs are pushing up, so it's a very disciplined and very organised defensive structure, and a very good start for Celtic.
And maybe signs of the frustration setting in with Ajax, and that long ball played down the line, which sped away from the Ajax attackers, and they were unable to make anything of it. So still no test of the goalkeeping of Robert Douglas so far. As far as Celtic are concerned, long may that continue. Larsson was the target. Van der Vaart got his head to it. That was Lennon. Rafael van der Vaart again. And it's now with Trabelsi, the Tunisian. Useful long ball picking out Nikos Maklas. Great control on the chest. So there's experience and good reading of the game from Tom Boyd. Right place, right time. And you can see exactly why Martin O'Neill chose to pick him. Olivier Kebele, the player to miss out. He's been in the back three for Celtic's first 2 SPL games. Larsson Drilled ball to Agathe. He's away from Shivu. Didier, Agathe has scored! It's 2-0 Celtic. 19 minutes gone. Superb pass from Larsson there. It was down to sheer pace and precision on the finish. Groom beaten for a second time.
Oh, again, great striking partnership. Sutton, wonderful layoff. Larsson is perfect into Agathe. And wonderful pace to get in front of the defender and a very composed finish. What a wonderful goal. Here we see him again. Great pace, lifts his head, knows where he's going to put it, side puts it across the goalkeeper and it's safely into the back of the net.
Real quality as well on that volley pass from Henrik Larsson. And then Shivu was a beaten man. You could see it in his face there. He just couldn't catch Agathe. He had him for pace, and that was a very cool finish. Agathe criticised sometimes for the quality of his finishing. Mido for Ajax. Into the box, headed away by Neil Lennon. Ajax looking for a quick response. And see, they're stunned. They're probably putting it mildly. Van der Vaart now on the ball. Beyond Douglas. And Bobby Petta knew he couldn't take any chance if Acadia was in behind him. And so he's nodded that behind. And Ajax have their first corner kick of the match. Taking short at schools, Bobby Petta out. Avaladze with a chance. Now it's Shivu. Passed into the box. It's well defended as well. And it was Jos Valhaden who was in the way. Vital bit of rock-solid defending from him because there were 3 Ajax players around him. He got there first and forced the ball away.
Yeah, very good defending again. Everybody there back in numbers to defend the corner. The ball breaks out. There was a real threat from Shivu. A lovely touch to open up a shooting opportunity, but very, very quick defending, very brave defending from the 3 centre-backs, and they've managed to pressure the shot.
It was a dangerous pass, and it played Jos Valhaden right into trouble. He does well to recover, and he maybe does well, too, to escape a caution there, because I reckon he'd a handful of Acadia's shirt initially after he slipped.
Yeah, he's just tried to turn inside. I mean, he knows where the man is, but Acadia's all over the top of him here, and to be fair to Valhaden, he does very, very well to recover the situation.
Mido's cross, but the young Egyptian will be disappointed with that. Straight into the arms of Robert Douglas, and none of the Ajax frontmen able to get close enough to make a challenge. Chris Sutton, such a valuable player for Celtic so far in the match, doing a pound of work, and Ajax being pressured into making foul challenges like that one from Shivu on Larsson. Henrik Larsson was between Shivu and the ball, and he was simply flattened by the Romania. And Celtic have the free kick approaching the midway point in the first half. Ajax 0, Celtic 2. Petta and Agathe, and he's putting on a wee bet. I don't know if the wager before the match had Celtic scored 2 goals has been in favour of Petta and Agathe. Not exactly the most prolific of marksmen, but 2 great finishes tonight.
No, you're absolutely right, Rob. They've been instrumental, both in terms of pushing Ajax back, pressing the ball, and to boot they've given us a goal each. So it's absolutely wonderful start for both of them. And again, Agathe really keen to get forward, and his pace is a real threat constantly for Ajax.
It's a great interception by Agathe. Henrik Larsson's cross. Grimm again looking unsettled. McNamara forces it back and just trundles into the keeper's hands. But if Celtic can get more quality ball into the box, there can be more goals for them here in Amsterdam. That seems to be clear the way this first half has gone. But in saying that, they also want to keep the door shut at the other end. Rafael van der Vaart on the ball. Wide for Acadia. Played in low, difficult bouncing ball. It came off the shins of Tom Boyd and spun back to goalkeeper Douglas. Missed by Valhaden, but Tom Boyd was doing what he's paid for and covering in behind. Chris Sutton took a bang on the head in that challenge with Shivu. Larsson's layoff. Great awareness from Larsson of exactly where Didier Agathe was. Slows it right down, but he's well capable of speeding it back up. Shivu comes out on top this time. That's cool defending. He was beaten all ends up when Agathe scored. Beaten for pace. Free kick given against Boyd. For the challenge on Nikos Maklas, the 28-year-old Greek striker. Avaladze, the Georgian, plays it wide for the overlapping Trabelsi. Acadia with Valharan at his back. Cruz. Daniel Cruz gets it back. Van der Vaart on his left foot. Shot deflected. Mido! Good save, Robert Douglas. That could prove to be just as important as the two goals from Petta and Agathe. He was well positioned and he beat the shot away from Mido. And a warning to Celtic that Ajax are on the way back. Jota Avaladze operating just behind the strikers, playing just off Maklas. Mido pushes the ball beyond Agathe. Great recovery from Didier Agathe. He always just confident in his own mind that he has the pace to get back.
Yeah, here we see the chance, Rob. Great 1-2, nice build-up work. Mishit lands at the feet of the Egyptian. He's tried to finish it in strength. It's a good strike. And Rob Douglas, great credit. He stood long enough to try and defect the shot away.
Mido, he looks a threat. And that's off Neil Lennon. Actually, no, not a corner kick. An Egyptian youth international, Mido. Here he is again. Played that in first time, lofted it towards the far post. More in hope than expectation. And again, Douglas was untroubled. No Ajax challenge. Long ball downfield. Hassanin heads it away. Free kick given in favour of Avaladze. And he's in a hurry to get on with it. Ajax giving a lot of the ball to Mido. They see potential in what he can do down the left side. The Egyptian teenager. Hassanin. The Finn, and Nigeria Acadia. Trabelsi heading for the byline. And that's a goal kick. And it's a long way back. The BBC live match in Amsterdam, and Adrian, the Ajax head coach, could be happier. I think that's maybe putting it mildly. His side 2-0 down, and he won't be at all impressed with the way they've defended. But we would have to hand Celtic a lot of credit for the way they've forced Ajax into errors.
Yeah, no doubt about it, but he'll be a very unhappy man. It's a disastrous start for Ajax. I just feel now that they don't have any leadership. They lack that leadership, that command, that experience to lift the squad, to lift the players now, and it doesn't seem to be coming from anywhere. A very young squad, and it's showing at this moment in time.
Lennon's free kick finds Chris Sutton. Henrik Larsson! Well, that's more than half a chance in Henrik Larsson's book, and he's disappointed that he couldn't have made more of that. Well set up by Sutton. And he's burst the net from just that sort of position before.
Yeah, that's certainly a chance that Henrik Larsson would put down in his book as a real chance. A difficult one to take. It's coming over his shoulder. He has to volley it, but a real other opportunity again there for Celtic, and they're going to create chances, and I think they could be in for more goals.
Yakubu, Van der Vaart, into the feet of Maklas, back for Avaladze, slipped under his boot. Jackie McNamara was there. That's a heavy return pass from Sutton. Ajax have it back. Van der Vaart again. Mido. Now for Shivu. So impressive for Romania at Euro 2000. That's not impressive at all. The passing, which gives the ball away. Neat touch from Henrik Larsson. Driving forward from midfield, Paul Lambert. He was having his shot held. And the Spanish referee, Mr. Nieto, waiting for an advantage, which wasn't forthcoming. So Celtic have a free kick. Just 1 minute short of the half hour. Things going better for Martin O'Neill than he could have dared hope. Bobby Petta, tip feet, good control. Valharen reacting quickly, and Mjalby. Aimed at Larsson, chested down for Chris Sutton. Again a good touch on the ball to keep possession. Sets up Didier, Agathe, and Sutton and Larsson head for the middle. There's Larsson. Yakubu, unsettled by the presence of Sutton. Back for Agathe. Powerfully hit cross. Wouldn't quite come down for Larsson. Yakubu forces it away, but only as far as Lennon and Lambert, and now Mjalby. Again it's Agathe. Chris Sutton trying to get on the end of it. Hassan in, headed it clear. Boyd. Looked back by Arveladze to Shibu. Acadia peeling away to the wide position, picking up some room. Back goes Bobby Petta. Cruz, Van der Vaart, and Lido. Two Celtic players went for that. McNamara and Valharen. Lack of communication there, but it didn't cost Celtic that time. Yakubu to Trabelsi, 24-year-old Tunisia. Acadia, again in a threatening position, but his cross cut out by Tom Boyd. Not quite the delivery into the box he was looking for there. And Celtic coped pretty comfortably. Now they try to spark an attack. Lennon and Lambert setting up Agathe. Lambert available again. McNamara. Jackie McNamara linking the play together. Mjalby's pass into the feet of Chris Sutton. McNamara was there bursting through. Pace and power from him, but no free kick. Shibu pushing away from Sutton, back to Grimm. And I don't think the Ajax fans were feeling totally confident as he juggled the ball with his feet there on the goal line, because he's not had a pleasant evening so far.
Oh, it's been a bit of a disaster for him, and he now looks a bit shaky. Rob, any crosses that are coming into the box now, he's not keen to come to them. The defenders are not the biggest, and they have no confidence now in him, and he's really started very, very poorly. And now with the ball at his feet, he looks rather shaky, so there's certainly a possibility for Celtic.
Lennon squares it, Lambert slips, McNamara doesn't. A delicate chip through looking for Valharen. And that's an offside flag, which spares any blushes for Ajax this time. The scoreline from Ibrox is Rangers 0, Fenerbahce 0. Still square there, but just look at the scoreline here. Ajax 0, Celtic 2. First half goals from Bobby Petta and from Didier Agathe. It's been a superb performance so far from Celtic. They hope to maintain this level, and they would certainly be hoping at this stage that there'll be more scoring opportunities coming along, because they really have had the Ajax defence struggling. Van der Vaart, the Dutch teenager. Shibu, Romanian skipper. He fired in that cross, but it's well away from Matlas. And Bobby Petta is able to turn the ball out of play. Van der Vaart. Passanen. Acadia. 2 against 1 wins it for Celtic. Neil Lennon in possession. And that's off. Goes all Nigerian for a Celtic throw. Van der Vaart in the midfield for Ajax, Eric, and I think it's points off for the first one. I call him Van der Vaart.
He is an absolutely fantastic football player. He's only 18 years of age, but he's standing head and shoulders above most of the other players in his own team at this moment in time, and he looks a wonderful prospect. He's got great vision, he's got a wonderful touch on the ball, and is so composed for a man or for a boy of his age.
Galante, we saw there as well, the Georgian who's been in dispute with the club. He was refusing to sign a new contract, and he was frozen out of the first team picture until tonight, and he's suspicious that Ajax just want him back for this game, and there's going to be nothing really at the end of it as far as he's concerned. But he's back in his customary position, playing just off the front, and he is a definite threat for Celtic. Martin O'Neill will know all about what he can do, an experienced Georgian international. Good play from Paul Lambert. Missing the ball off the toes of Mido, but it's at the expense of a corner kick. There's not much more than 10 minutes left in the first half. Concentration on the face of Rob Douglas. And that's the man we've just been speaking about. Van der Vaart with the corner kick. It's flicked away by McNamara. Acadia onto it. And that's a forgettable effort at goal from him. It's been a miserable first half for Ajax. It's gone better than Celtic had dared hope, as I said, and well, it's the stuff that nightmares are made of, I think, for Co-Adrian.
Well, no doubt about it. You'll be sitting down there just wondering how he can turn this around. I don't think he's got any more experienced players on the bench. He may try and change the system, but the players that are out there are used to this system. But at this moment in time, they really do not seem to be threatening Celtic at all. And Celtic are looking very, very comfortable and becoming more and more comfortable as the game goes on.
Bobby Petta trying to wrestle himself clear of the challenge by Trabelsi. He couldn't do so, and a free kick is his. Another chance for Celtic to threaten. Valhaeren and Mjalby have gone forward to support Sutton and Larsson. In from Lennon. Headed away by Shibu. Van der Vaart. Allowed to progress by Celtic, who now funnel back behind the ball. Cruz making the run. Agathe making the challenge and wins it for Celtic. Chris Sutton reacting quickly. And now Agathe. Stayed very cool in a cluttered midfield there, found Lennon. And that's a heavy challenge from Passanen on Larsson. Didn't get the ball, he certainly got the Celtic striker. And Larsson is still on the ground, just getting back to his feet now. But that looked to be a challenge that went for the man rather than the ball, as Ajax contemplate a substitution. And the first half is not yet over. And Fury going now with the frustration for Ajax, reacting badly to decisions going against them.
Yeah, here we can see he does very well to win the ball. A bit of frustration, desperate to try and press the ball. And I think he actually comes round the side of McNamara there. So I think his frustration there was probably well guided.
Yeah, a booking that Van der Vaart, by the looks of that, didn't deserve. But they certainly won't get themselves anywhere by tugging at the referee's shirt. That won't go down too well. Fred Grimm limping out to the edge of his penalty box before hurling the ball clear to Mido. Misjudgment by Mjalby, and now he's got a long chase back. Mido's cross picks out Acadia. Celtic looking a little bit stretched, but he needed to get that controlled quickly and played in. And Cruz. Good run from Daniel Cruz right into the danger area. A great cut out by Jos Valhaeren. Maklas was waiting, Arveladze was waiting, Mido was in the danger area as well. And Valhaeren so valuable there for Celtic. Four in the box for Ajax, two just outside. In from Van der Vaart, and out comes Rob Douglas to claim it. But what must be infuriating the Ajax coaches at the sideline is that there was no challenge there on the Celtic keeper.
No, it's a great take from Robert Douglas, but again, no real threat in the air. Reasonably well-delivered ball at the time, but still there's no real threat in there for Ajax, and it's a tough rotation. It was very unfortunate not to start an attack. Wonderful run for Henrik Larsson.
Acadia. Again, taking too long to get the ball under control, and that was all the encouragement Neil Lennon needed. Celtic have poured a lot of effort into this first half to go with the undoubted ability, and they've looked a very, very strong unit in the first half. Petri Passanen played up to Nikos Maklas. Good control, good layoff. Acadia cuts in, gets the break of the ball. Here's a chance for Ajax. It's Maklas. Douglas hands it away, but it's forced in by Arveladze. Ajax pull a goal back 6 minutes from half-time, and it's Shota Arveladze, the man who came in from the cold, and he's reawakened Ajax hopes.
Yeah, it was a wonderful burst of pace. A bit fortunate there, some slack defending from the Celtic players. Mackless turns. Douglas can only parry it to the side here. Wonderful turn for Mackless, doesn't quite catch it. Douglas stops it, might have hoped to get it further away, but good finishing, good following up from Arveladze, and that's the last thing Celtic needed just before half-time.
That could prove to be a real shot in the arm for Ajax, and immediately Rob Douglas gives the ball away with a poor kick-out, and Celtic will want to get themselves settled down and start playing the way they were playing. Tom Boyd ushered that ball behind, showed all his experience and know-how, and Rob Douglas being told to get on with the game, and I wonder if there's a question mark against the Celtic keeper that he didn't push that shot out wider rather than into the path of Arveladze for the goal.
Maybe he was slightly surprised with how quickly Mackless turned and had the shot. He'd probably be a lot happier if it had gone slightly wider. He did get down to it. It was a difficult one to stop, but he might have wished that had gone slightly further wider.
That's all for after-match chat for now. Ajax back in the game at 2-1 down, and that's a scoreline which will sound a whole lot better to them than it did. Celtic 2-0 up and threatening to go further clear. Now just one goal the difference between these two, and Celtic certainly won't want to concede another one before half-time. They would have happily settled for any sort of lead going into the away dressing room at the interval. And there's a yellow card for Neil Lennon for that tug at the shorts. So yellow cards for either side now. Van der Vaart for Ajax and Lennon for Celtic.
Yeah, again, it's just frustration, Rob. He's lost possession of the ball carelessly. He's unhappy about doing that, and he's tried very hard to win the ball back, but Celtic still, I think, in control, but Ajax certainly coming into the game now that they've scored that goal.
Mackless, who was instrumental in the goal which Ajax pulled back. It was his shot which was touched away by Douglas, and it was Arveladze who supplied the finishing touch, and now a set-piece situation of which Celtic will be wary, and Rob Douglas making sure that he's got everything right in front of him. Rafael van der Vaart is over the ball, and Petri Pasanen, the defender, is just behind him. The thin yellow line just inside the box for Celtic. Van der Vaart right into the wall, tries again, and this time with the right foot it flashed well wide. So that's well defended by Celtic, and disappointment for the youngster.
Yeah, good solid defending from the wall there, stood strong, hasn't clipped it as well as he likes. He's got a wonderful touch in the ball, and I'm sure that he would have liked to have at least tested Robert Douglas on that occasion.
A little bit of Greek back shot from Nikos Mackless. Douglas aims at Sutton. It was Mido who won the header. Paul Lambert. Mjelby. Henrik Larsson hanging in the air for the header. It's back to him as well. Yakubu. Salharan. Petta. That's a loose one from your Salharan. And Celtic don't really want to offer any encouragement to Ajax at this stage. Just a minute and a half of the regulation, 45 left. But that's given away by Amido. Straight at Neil Lennon. Agathe to Larsson. His pass blocked by Yakubu. And the Larsson studs were showing against Arveladze. Free kick. And it's the Georgian himself in possession. I gather we're having a few picture problems at the moment. We'll hope to get that sorted out. Van der Vaart gets it back. It's Chips over the top. Apologies again for the loss of pictures from Amsterdam. You can be sure that we're working on it as Celtic try to preserve their 2-1 lead with just 30 seconds left of the first half, plus any stoppage time to be added on. Neil Lennon to Johan Mjalby, played in field to Sutton, lays it off to Larsson, midway inside the Ajax half. Agathe cross is a clever one. A cross came to Rebelsi to cut out the danger for Ajax, and now they push forward, but it's a poor pass out of defence from Petri Pasanen, and it's gone out of play, and Celtic have a throw. 2 minutes to be added, and we've now played exactly 45. 2 minutes between us and the half-time whistle. Celtic in possession with Mjalby on the halfway line. Played forward towards Larsson. It breaks back to Daniel Cruz for Ajax in the middle of the midfield. Plays it wide to the overlapping fullback Trabelsi. Acadia, but he can't keep possession. There's a stiff challenge from Neil Lennon. Wins it for Celtic and gets a return pass from Bobby Petta. Played in field to Jos Valharen. A short pass to Paul Lambert. Back to Valharen, charging through the centre circle. Plays it wide left to Henrik Larsson. Valharen and Sutton waiting in the middle. There's Chris Sutton! Saved by Fred Graham, just as Sutton looked likely to make it 3. Couldn't really have done more. Sutton drove the shot in. It was a reflex stop by the goalkeeper. But Celtic now threatening again with Agathe. Turn back for Larsson. It's a corner kick, and just ahead of the half-time whistle, Celtic so close here to going 3-1 ahead. That's a great stop from Sutton's effort.
Yeah, it's a wonderful break forward from Valharen. Lovely ball in from Larsson. Sutton can do no more. He's got on target, and perhaps Grimm has made up from one or two of his earlier errors.
That's a brilliant save when you look at it there by the goalkeeper. Here's the corner kick, played in by Bobby Petta. Cleared, but only as far as Lennon. He's played 100 seconds of added time, and that's flicked away by Pasanen. And a little bit of respite for the Ajax defence, which has been seriously stretched in the first half. They've struggled to cope with what Celtic have thrown at them, and what they've thrown at them has been a top quality performance. Valharen's throw, Sutton's head, Larsson trying to guide that back to McNamara, almost found its way through, and that's half-time in the Amsterdam ArenA, and the big cheer is from the Celtic supporters. The Ajax fans still somewhat stunned about what they've seen in this first half. Goals from Bobby Petta and Didier Agathe, both beautifully taken, had Celtic 2-0 in front. Arveladze pulls one back for Ajax just before half-time, but it's these Celtic supporters who are absolutely delighted with what they've seen so far, Eric.
Yeah, wonderful performance from Celtic. Very professional, very disciplined, wonderfully inventive up front. Larsson, Sutton have been very, very clever. Petta in the wider area, fantastic. Agathe, a real threat with his pace and his desire to get forward. And it's been an all-round really good performance. I just hope now that Ajax, having been given a boost there, obviously 10-15 minutes before the end, don't come out and change and possibly give more threats to Celtic, but I can actually see Celtic scoring.
Yep, it certainly could have been a bigger lead for Celtic, but I don't think anyone inside that away dressing room will be complaining about the half-time scoreline, which is Ajax 1, Celtic 2.
Thank you very much, Rob. Apologies to you at home for the picture quality towards the end of the first half there. Apparently there was problems with the satellite caused by bad weather. Doesn't do with us, honestly. Now, 2-1 at half-time, Craig, it couldn't be better. You said that you think Celtic could have scored, and you get 2, my goodness, in the first half.
2, that is a wonderful start for Celtic. To score 2 away goals in a European tie against a side of that calibre is fantastic. And it's a wonderful start, and no matter what happens later on, no, they won't lose the game. They'll score more goals. I agree with Eric Black there.
Yeah.
I think they'll score. Let's say it was 2-2. It's still a great result, because 2 away goals gives you a terrific cushion when they come to Celtic Park. But Celtic are playing exceptional. They're pressing. their coordinated pressing to win possession has been tremendous.
Martin O'Neill did talk before the game saying that he could change his tactics, but his tactics certainly seem to be right. I wouldn't change them so far.
Oh no, absolutely spot on tactically. They've done very, very well. The Dutch have only 2 up. It allows Celtic to have 3 at the back. Tom Boyd in the centre there, all his experience. Bulgarin doing very well. Mialby walking through the game. It looks great. The one disappointing feature was a bit of slack marking in the box when they lost the goal. And Rab Douglas did well to save the shot, but it rebounded, and unfortunately Avaladis was there, so they shouldn't have lost. The half-time result flatters the Ajax.
Yeah,
no
absolutely.
question.
No, Alan, it certainly couldn't get off to a better start there. We mentioned the wingers earlier on, and Bobby Petta taking his first goal, took it very well, but what was going on with the keeper?
He's made some bad decisions, you know. The first goal, you know, you look back at that and you'll be very disappointed. You know, obviously Celtic will be delighted with what he's done there. You know, but he still had a lot to do there, Bobby, you know, and he's put it away really well. You know, and from then on, you know, Celtic have just looked so confident, and, you know, and to be honest, they haven't really had any ideas on how to play anything, you know, and Celtic, you know, will be absolutely delighted. Obviously the goal put a little bit of a damper on the first half performance, but, you know, they were a little bit unfortunate now because it took a deflection off Houston, gone right into the Ajax players' pass, you know, so, but no, they'll be absolutely delighted.
Right, and Chris Sutton showing a lot of strength there. It was mentioned before the game also that Adrian said if Celtic start playing a physical game, I mean, Chris Sutton can't help playing a physical game. It's the player he is, and he shows an awful lot of strength in the box, and it works out well there. Yeah,
they've struggled to handle him, and the ball's been played up for Chris, and, you know, he's been linking with Henrik really well, you know, and for the first 35 minutes, you know, Ajax seemed to be all over the place. You know, they never really had a shape, and every time they did get the ball, they were giving it away, and they were just playing right into Celtic's hands.
Now, Craig, Celtic went 2-0 up fairly quickly after it, and not just 14 minutes later. It was Didier Agathe, his pace. He talked about his pace earlier on, and here it is. He did incredibly well here.
Yeah, the pass was good. The first ball laid in there by Sutton was excellent. That pass was tremendous, and his pace just enabled him to outstrip Kivu, and wonderful goal. Again, I think the goalkeeping could have been better. He didn't present himself very well to stop it, but there's a great layoff. And look at Larson. I mean, what a well-weighted pass that, right into the path of a guy who we all know has got terrific pace. His finish is tremendous. And Celtic deservedly 2 up then, and, you know, looked as though they were going to get more goals, and they were very unfortunate not to score again. But they played exceptionally well, the whole Celtic team, not a weakness. Terrific team play, and the individual pace of this man and of Petta on the left has been significant. See, the front 2 have done very well, but the wide players have supplied. Every ball into that box causes panic in the Ajax defence.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, we've talked about Didier Agathe, and sometimes people have criticised him for his final ball or his finishing. I mean, certainly nothing wrong with that one there, Alan.
No, I'd put money on Didier beating anyone in that position. You know, he's absolutely lightning, and you know, all he's got to think about there is hitting the target and putting the ball away. And, you know, he's done everything right, and, you know, he set Celtic up for the, you know, for 2-0 there, and, you know, they were cruising at that point.
Now, when Agathe came into the team for Celtic, you were there last season. I mean, what kind of options did he offer to the club that perhaps he didn't have the season before?
I think he offers everything. You know, he offers a lot of options going forward. You know, but, you know, like with a lot of people, you just find that they don't get back a lot. You know, but with Didier, you know, he's probably one of the hardest working players in the team. You know, he'll go up and he'll go back and all, help, you know, on the right-hand side, which is probably Johan behind him. You know, and he offers a lot of hard work, you know, for the team. But I think if you to single out anyone, you know, would be an injustice there, because everyone has been absolutely magnificent.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you said that we've been injustice, but of course we're going to single out other players. It could have been 3-0. Larson was off the bar, but it's Celtic using a short corner.
Short corner's great. That's a very good shot. Whenever you play a short corner, the subs are marking in the box, and it gives the eyes of the defenders are stuck towards that ball, and you can see Henrik Larsson just moving off his marker there. Great header. Terribly unlucky not to get a third goal there. That was a wonderful play. The short corner I'm in favour of. You could see they only sent one out. I couldn't believe that, a club of that stature. The ball came in, all the marking was disturbed, and Larsson really scored.
Now, you could say that Ajax are in a kind of transition period because they are a very young side, but you can almost say that about Celtic as well, because Martin O'Neill's only their first year in charge. Clearly they've not been very successful domestically, but this is it is still a transition period. But they seem to be head and shoulders above the Ajax team. Would you go along with that?
Yes, absolutely. They are head and shoulders above them. Everything about the Celtic performance has been first rate. a bit of slack marking, that's all, just inside the box. The rest has been excellent. I said the pressing, that is when they leave Ajax to get the ball at the back until just in their own half. They come to the halfway line, and there's a coordinated, synchronised pressing movement, which is usually sparked by either Neil Lennon, Jackie McNamara, or Paul Lambert, and the whole team closes down, and Ajax don't know what's happening then. They lose possession very softly, and Celtic are excellent in the counter-attack, as we've seen.
Now, Alan, what will Martin and Neil, you've been in the dressing room with them in situations like this, what will he be saying to the players now? Because they did lose a slack goal towards the end of the first half there, perhaps they shouldn't have.
Yeah, I think, to be honest, he'll just say the same again. You know, obviously, keep it tight, you know, when they go out now, not to lose an early goal. You know, I think that'll be really important. You know, but every time Celtic go forward, they look like they're going to score. You know, and I do think that they will be scoring another goal. You know, and if they can score another goal and keep a clean sheet for the second half, you know, then they'll be absolutely delighted going back to Celtic Park with a 3-1, or even 2-1 if they keep it like that. They'll be delighted.
No, Avalanche, the Georgian, that 18 goals last season, he's not going to miss from there, Craig.
No, but two Celtic players very unlucky there. Tom Boyd actually won the ball and it rebounded to the opposing player, and then I think Mialbi was very unfortunate as well. So, you know, when I look at it again, I think it was quite a lucky goal. They worked hard for it to Ajax, but they got the break of the ball inside the box, and of course they got the break from Rob Douglas' save as well. So a fortunate goal for them. It's given them a bit of heart. That's the danger, you know, and you can never be complacent at 2-1. But I still think it's a wonderful result at half-time, thoroughly deserved, and I would predict Celtic will score again.
Now, Conor Adrians clearly has some options there. He's got players that can all play football. Will he do a major change in tactics at half-time, do you think, Craig?
I think not. I think he's got a problem down his left side, because here's Agathe, and Alan's quite right in saying that he actually can defend as well as attack. Now, he's got two players. He's got Mido and Kivo there down that left side. You would think they should be doing a 2-against-1 against Agathe, but Agathe's positional play has been exceptional. He's been defended when he has to defend. He's been covered very well by Malby behind, and the whole thing's tidy. But I would have thought if they can get the ball down that left side, they've got two excellent left-footed players, and they can do something and get crosses in from there. They've had one or two, and that would be my one slight worry about Ajax getting down the left and getting crosses in. As Agathe, maybe if he gets tired or if he gets careless in his concentration, they could capitalise there.
Now, Ajax, I mean, they weren't just making up the numbers in the first half. They were 2-1 at half-time, but they did have some chances in the first half as well, as you can see here.
Yeah, they did. I mean, this was a good chance, really. He sprayed it back in, and he should have probably hit his shot a bit earlier. You know, but obviously they cleared the lines there, and, you know, probably might see in a minute, they have another chance where the lads in front of goal only hit it, and probably Rob's delighted that he's hit it just to, you know, to wear a nice height for him. You know, because anywhere else, and there's probably a goal. This is a great save coming up here from Rob Douglas. You mentioned it during the game there, Craig. That's what you want your keeper to do. He's not called into action a lot, but great save.
Absolutely, tremendous save. It was a point-blank shot, but it was hit fairly straight, but Rob was there in the right position, and good goalkeeping. Gave a big presence, so it was a hard target to hit, even from a fairly close range, so excellent. He's out, you know, narrowing the angle 4 or 5 yards off his line. I would think that would be superb goalkeeping.
OK, gentlemen, for the moment, thank you very much indeed. Now, as promised, your chance to win this shirt, signed by all three of last week's Celtic signings, John Hartson, Steve Guppy and Momo Silla. To win it, you just have to answer this question. From which club did Celtic sign John Hartson? Was it A, Wimbledon, B, Coventry, or C, Arsenal? Get your answers to us by post at Celtic Shirts Competition, BBC Sports Scotland, Queen Margaret Drive, Glasgow, G12 8DG, or by email sportscene@bbc.co.uk, or by telephone indeed on 0900 144 7755. 0900 144 7755. And of course, Rangers are playing in a qualifying for the Champions League tonight at Ibrox against the Turkish champions Fenerbahce. They kicked off at 7:45 this evening, and the score at the moment is 0-0. Craig, 0-0 at half-time. Well, not yet half-time for Rangers. They've got another few minutes to play, but that's not bad. They're holding on to them.
Pardon me, not too bad, because they've not to concede a goal. That's the important thing. OK, better if you score. But, you know, it might be easier for Rangers to score in Turkey than at home, because Fenerbahce will be back defending. But as long as they keep a clean sheet, the away goal in Europe is so critical. I keep saying that, but Scottish teams have been at fault in the past because of their attitude, their strategy. And Rangers' strategy, as long as Fenerbahce don't score, they're in with a chance.
Now, there's a lot been said, Alan, about the Everton player, your teammate Michael Ball, coming to Rangers. What do you know about him as a player? Because clearly Rangers need to sort of shore up the defence, and he's a left-sided defender, is that right?
Yeah, he is. Obviously, a lot of Everton fans are sorry to see him go. He's got a big reputation. He's young, and I'm sure he'll be a really good player for Rangers. Obviously, the reason why he's left is because he was in a contractual. He couldn't agree terms with Everton over a new contract. Unfortunately, Everton have decided to sell him. And I'm sure Rangers have got a really top quality player.
Okay, thanks very much for the moment, Alan. Thanks very much indeed. Now, as you can see, the referee and some of the Celtic players, Agathe, coming out at the moment. But it's time now to have full second half commentary of Ajax versus Celtic from the Amsterdam ArenA with Eric Black and Rob McLean.
The job is only half done. I'm sure Steve Walford and John Robertson and Martin O'Neill have been making that perfectly clear to the Celtic players during the interval. It's been a wonderful first half performance from the Scottish champions, but they really need to produce the same again in the second 45. They'll not want to be rolling out any sort of welcome mat to Ajax to allow them back into the game. Arveladze having given them a little injection of hope towards the tail end of that first half. And there is the substitution we were expecting late on in the first half. And it's Ibrahimovic who's come on, despite his surname. He's a Swedish international. He's only 19. You wouldn't really expect him to be much older than that, such as the age average of this amazing Ajax side. He's a new signing from Malmo, and when you hear that they've paid £5 million for a 19-year-old, well, maybe you know all about the sort of quality that he has and the sort of potential he has as well. He's a big, muscly striker, despite the fact that he's still a teenager, and he's possibly a new problem that Celtic will have to contend with.
Yeah, he's a very, very skillful player. He's a wonderful attacking player. But it'll take him time to settle in, hopefully. They haven't, I think they've changed the structure slightly, Rob. They're going with two players through the middle this time with Maklas and Ibrahimovic. So we'll just see how they settle down in the first 5 minutes. But yeah, he's one to watch, no doubt about it.
First involvement for Mido. His pass slipping away from Daniel Cruz, the Colombian, but did well to keep possession under pressure from Neil Lennon. Mido again, and out wide Shivu. Early ball in. Chested back towards Mido. Celtic trying to stay firm at the back. That's a useful ball in from Mido. And, well, Robert Douglas did well, because that would have surprised many. He just whipped that in. And on this sort of surface, that could have been deadly.
No, that's a very good take from Robert Douglas. He'll be happy with that. He didn't even look Mido there. He's eliminated the fullback. I think it was Agathe. And he's whipped the ball in very quickly.
Chance for Henrik Larsson! So close to 3-1 Celtic. Just 80 seconds gone in the second half, and again it's bad defending from Pisana and a dreadful mistake. And Henrik Larsson steering his shot wide of the post. He'll be disappointed not to have stretched Celtic's lead.
Yeah, he'll be very disappointed. Very good though, Larsson, very persistent. He's waiting on any mistake that might be made by the defenders. Brent presents the opportunity to him there, and he's very unfortunate just to pull it by the far post.
Good play from Yakubu. Ibrahimovic threatening against Boyd. That's a good effort from Arveladze at the edge of the area. And that's cheered up the Ajax supporters. Dangerous coming onto the ball, the Georgian.
Yeah, he's coming from deeper, Rob, so he's going to get presented with several shots from maybe outside the area. Ibrahimovic again showing his strength, his touch, linking very well with Arveladze there. But again, Robert Douglas very well positioned and comfortably taking the shot.
Bobby Petta, the man who opened the scoring after just 7 minutes, chips that forward to Henrik Larsson. Two players trying to get to Larsson. Neither could manage. Now Sutton and Didier Agathe had found himself an awful lot of room wide right. Had Sutton been able to move that one on. But it's Ajax in possession with Ibrahimovic. Cleared by Yalbi. Van der Vaart. Mido. Yalbi stumbles. And back goes Paul Lambert. to shut off the route, or to attempt to. But Mido still managed to squeeze that into the box. Not so troublesome this time for Douglas. But they're a talented team on the offensive, Ajax. That is clear, and Celtic will have to be very watchful. Van der Vaart to Shibu. The Ajax fans trying to get their team going. It was a stuttering show for much of the first half from them, and the quality on that pass from Yakubu to Ibrahimovic, not good enough. Skidded away. His first name is Zlatan, and that's the name he wears on the back of his shirt. And Adrian hoping for better in the second period from his team. The former Ajax youth coach, he was away at Willem II, took them into the Champions League, and now back as first team boss at Ajax. Grim's clearance. Arvelante was there. But bags of time for Johan Mjalby to make the clearance a good one. Pasanen, Shivu. Infield to Van der Vaart. Sabelsi. And again, the pass flicked away by McNamara, finding Lambert, Lennon. Paul Lambert couldn't control that one from his central midfield mate. Now Avalanche. The Egyptian Mido. Fired in again low. Cleared by Mjalby. Flicked away by Petta. McNamara making up the ground, finding Larsson. Lovely touch from Larsson. Away, spinning away from Pasanen. And again, Sutton waits. There is Chris Sutton. And the whistle is gone. Presumably for an offside. Just as Celtic got themselves into another very threatening position. Or was the ball over the line? I think that's the ruling, that Larsson had dragged the ball out. That didn't look as if the whole ball was over the line.
It certainly didn't look like that from there, Rob. I don't know whether it was an infringement of some kind, but the linesman was very sure that something had happened in the central area. But a wonderful run from Larsson again there. Pulled it back, and unfortunately for Sutton, the ball just didn't fall for him.
Although there was still a chance there for Sutton to score after the whistle had gone, because he was dancing away from the goalkeeper. And Celtic have created so many chances in this match already. Larsson's downward header to Sutton. They linked so well. McNamara to Petta. Away from Cruz. Good feet from Bobby Petta. Stumbles right at the edge of the area. Looks up hopefully towards Antonio Lopez Nieto. No free kick.
Yeah, it's a great run again from Bobby Petta. Lovely quick feet. I think he's actually lost possession of the ball there, so there may not have been an infringement, but that's really direct play from Petta.
That's a good save by Robert Douglas to deny Nikos Maklas. Tom Boyd lost his footing at the edge of the area. That's where this chance came from.
Yeah, he just slipped, unfortunately. Great first touch from Maklas. Opens himself up, hits the target, and Douglas does very well to get across and parry it for a corner. But it's putting a bit of pressure on now, Ajax.
Van der Vaart's corner kick, flicked on by Ibrahimovic, away by Sutton. Celtic trying to push out. Yakubu, Valharen's header. Yakubu again for Ajax. That was a tremendous save from Rob Douglas a few moments ago, because you could see that he was at absolutely full stretch to tip that one away, and his manager Martin O'Neill will have been delighted about that save and several which have preceded it. It's maybe a performance tonight from Rob Douglas which will win over a few of the doubters, although if you're being hypercritical, maybe you will ask questions about his part in the Arvelante goal, but aside of that, he really has been responsible for some superb saves. Yakubu Babelsi on the overlap, but any ball that isn't played directly to feet tends to slip away from its target, and that makes it 10 times more difficult.
Yeah, no doubt about it. What's interesting now, but Ajax are not playing with a naturally right-sided wide player at this moment, so most of their attacks are going down the left side. Averladley's sitting in midfield, and that could give Bobby Petta just that little bit more room to try and exploit the left-hand side.
Yeah, they've had to sacrifice Ikedia, the little Nigerian, to pull on Ibrahimovic, so it's a different approach from Ajax in the second half, but certainly some potential problems for Celtic. Mido's cross, and that's not one of his better efforts, and that was right down the throat of the Celtic keeper. You're watching BBC Scotland, the big match in Amsterdam. Ajax 1, Celtic 2. 9 second half minutes played. And don't switch off or switch over, because this match has had so much drama already, and you get the feeling there's a bit more to come. Lennon's pass to McNamara. Bobby Petta against Daniel Cruz. Lennon, little burst of pace away from Averladze. Sutton, and Didier Agathe has some room. Early ball in. There goes for Sutton! A third Celtic goal! A crashing header from Sutton! 9.5 minutes played in the second half. And that's 3-1. Wonderful goal. Oh, top level. What a wonderful delivery from Didier Agathe. A really brave header from Chris Sutton. Comes between the two defenders. Great ball in. He attacks the ball. Hits the target. There's no chance for the goalkeeper there. Lovely curling ball in. Here he arrives. He's nowhere he's missing this one. Wonderful strike. And a well-deserved goal. The two central defenders hesitated. Hassanin and Yakubu. Chris Sutton wasn't hanging about. He went for it 100%. And you won't see a firmer or more decisive header than that. And it keeps Celtic 3-1 ahead against Ajax on their home patch. Mido onto his right foot. That took a deflection, and it's a corner kick. And the moment it was deflected, you just wondered where it was heading, but it went wide of target. Corner kick for Ajax. And, well, you don't need me to tell you that Mido looks a real player in the making. 18 years old. Van der Vaart's corner kick punched away by Douglas. Henrik Larsson on his own at the moment, holds the ball up perfectly. McNamara, Lambert, now Celtic counter. Didier Agathe. Chris Sutton getting forward. McNamara is there, Sutton is there, Didier Agathe still has it. Against Yakubu, not quite sure which way to turn, the defender. Helping out is Lambert. Neat 1-2. Kept in well by Paul Lambert. Henrik Larsson's there, Bobby Petta is in bags of room left side. If he could have worked that one over. But he didn't know he was there, Henrik Larsson. And Tom Boyd well positioned to cut out the pass from Mido. And it's off Ibrahimovic. Celtic's throw. And just about every time Celtic push forward, they look likely to add to their tally.
No doubt about it. Didier Agathe has been outstanding because he had to defend, he's had to get forward. Petta, the last goal was outstanding, really top level football from Celtic. It starts on the left-hand side, they work it across the central area, out to Agathe, wonderful ball in, and a fabulous goal. And Celtic are now really buoyant, and let's hope they can just keep possession of the ball now, but I think they might score again the way things are sitting.
Van der Vaart's pass picks out Ibrahimovic. Bobby Petta intercepting, but it wasn't the shootest of passes. Neil Lennon with a bit of chasing to do before Averladze could get there. Ibrahimovic, good touch on the ball, big and strong as well. Van der Vaart. Valharan and Boyd trying to win it back for Celtic. Mido, Kashibu. 3 at the edge of the area for Ajax. So that's great covering from Chris Sutton. He's doing good work all over the pitch. And I suppose the arrival of John Hartson won't have done him any harm, because he'll know that subpar performances will mean dropping out of the side, and well, he certainly couldn't describe his contribution tonight as subpar.
No, first-class striking performance from Chris Sutton. As you say, Rob, interesting to see that Bobby Petta has been outstanding as well, with Mr. Guppy sitting on the bench and John Hartson waiting to get involved in the game, and Sutton and Larson have been outstanding. So it just shows you the strength of having a good quality squad, being able to change things quickly, being able to have good variation, good quality coming in, and it certainly spurred them on tonight.
There's a neat exchange between Larson and Petta, and Petta was having his shirt pulled there by Trabelsi as he tried to get in behind the African fullback. But Bobby Petta can't get through, trying his best. Daniel Cruz back to help out as well for Ajax. Free kick quickly taken. Van der Vaart. Good play from Jackie McNamara. Well, I think he's unlucky there to have a free kick given against him. He looked to have got the ball, and it was good challenging.
No, I think a great determination to get back. He's won the ball cleanly there. He's taken the ball away, and very unfortunate to lose possession.
Maybe that's the ref levelling things up there, because he put Van der Vaart for a tackle in the first half, in which he seemed to get the ball. That tackle was on the Dutch midfielder, and it certainly didn't look like a free kick. So that's history now. Mido with the ball in his hands. Ibrahimovic coming short to receive it, but Neil Lennon getting himself in the way. Neil Lennon's a player you would always want on your side rather than having to play against. He's everywhere, and the combination with Lambert in central midfield offers Celtic such a strong stranglehold, and they've certainly had that tonight so far, and they want to maintain top concentration, big work rate as well, to keep themselves in pole position, which is currently where they are. Mido's pass is poor. Easy cut-out for Mjalby. Played away by Agathe. Henrik Larsson with a bit of work to do, but he's not frightened of that. Lambert has it now. Being chased by Van der Vaart. Away by Mjalby. Sutton gets himself there. Cruz. Trabelsi. Celtic supporters making a lot of noise. 8,000 of them officially, although you suspect there might be a few more than that. Van der Vaart again trying to find a hole in the Celtic defence. Ibrahimovic stretching out to keep possession, but not the best ball in. Petta was there for Celtic and responding to a shout from his teammates to get the ball away. And a free kick given against Yakubu, and as he protests towards the referee, he's told to cut that out, finding Henrik Larsson a bit too hot to handle. 16 minutes gone in the second half. BBC Scotland with the live match from the Amsterdam ArenA, and it's Ajax 1, Celtic 3. That sounds good. Celtic, a long way to go, of course. Another leg of this tie to come, but Celtic certainly at the moment, you would have to say, heading towards the Champions League. And Eric was speaking about the new depth in Martin O'Neill's squad. He wanted that for this season. He knew he had to have it for Celtic to have any real expectations about their European participation this season. And he now has a bit more in the way of options, a bit more in the way of strength. And you can almost see that from the way the first 11 is performing out here tonight. It's been top quality, but he's got other changes that he can make in the second half. He's got the likes of Hartson and Sila and Moravcik and Guppy, all players who could come on and do a job for him. And that's way over the top. But it's a pretty healthy looking bench, isn't it, Eric?
It's certainly a very impressive looking bench, quite an expensive looking bench as well, but real quality there for a backup for Martin O'Neill. At this moment in time, there's no need to use anybody. I can see Libo Moravcik warming up, so maybe we're getting an introduction from Libo. Perfect game for him to come into. Good quality opposition and a top player.
And a nice stage to bring him on as well when you're in command, both in terms of scoreline and in the way the match was going. 3-1, Celtic ahead. And, well, that's a nice psychological edge if you can throw a player of the quality of Moravcik on, and if Ajax thought they had problems, they might have one more coming their way shortly as well when Moravcik comes into the game. He'll be used selectively this season by Martin O'Neill, who constantly jokes about Moravcik's age, but he is full of creative influence for the side. Van der Vaart for Ajax. Agalante. Mido. Agathe defending this time. The cross played beyond Douglas, chased by Ibrahimovic. And, well, that doesn't look like a fair fight, does it? Ibrahimovic against Petta. There's about a foot in it, I think, in terms of height. But Bobby Petta coming away with the ball. The whistle's going for a free kick for Ajax. Taken quickly between Van der Vaart and Cruz. Arvalade. Shibu. Crisply played to Van der Vaart. And wide for Shibu again. The cross lofted in, and, well, you would have to say that is very disappointing. He's a top-quality player, the Romanian captain, but that was floated into no one in particular.
Yeah, it was a hopeful ball in, actually. Robbie doesn't seem to have that much conviction behind it. They look to have dropped their heads again slightly. I think the tie has come maybe a couple of years too early for Ajax. There's some wonderful, wonderful footballers out there, but just lacking a bit of experience and a bit of direction at this moment in time. But it's very healthy for Celtic, and let's hope it continues that way.
Very healthy for Celtic, and you saw the reaction there from the Celtic supporters. They are having a ball. A shadow cast over the game. Free kick-off with the shooting in the Amsterdam bar this afternoon, and we hope all is well on that score. And that's the sort of incident, of course, which puts football firmly in its place. And it's only a game when you hear of happenings like that one. So a lot of worry, a lot of concern among the Celtic supporters about what happened there. But certainly smiles on faces at the moment, in a football sense, in the stadium, with Celtic looking to be in a very strong position indeed. The third round of qualifiers leading towards the Champions League. 90 minutes to come at Celtic Park in a fortnight. But Celtic couldn't really have hoped to have got themselves into a better sort of situation than this one. 20 minutes played in the second half. 3-1 ahead. Goals from Petta and Agathe in the first half. Arvalade pulled one back. But that thumping header from Chris Sutton has reopened that two-goal advantage. Daniel Cruz for Ajax. Mido. Van der Vaart. Into Maklas. Trying to lay that off for Van der Vaart. It's well defended by Celtic. And played up to Henrik Larsson on halfway. Sutton continues it on its path out wide to Petta. That's off Trabelsi, the Tunisian, 26 caps for his country, a new signing in the summer. As the revolving door has again operated, and Ajax has put together the side of 2001. And there must be a lot of optimism about the future if they can hold on to the youngsters they have here. And most of them tied up on fairly lengthy contracts to make sure that if Ajax do lose them, and the big clubs are always watching here, that they're going to go for a pretty penny. Lennon tidying up in midfield. Johan Mjalby with Mido and Maklas bearing down on him. Plays the ball away, straight to Van der Vaart. Yakubu, the central defender. That's a good challenge from Tom Boyd, well won. And guided on nonchalantly by Larsson to Petta. Again testing out Trabelsi. He's having his shirt pulled. Petta, he had the better of his opposite number. He lays it off to McNamara. Into Larsson. McNamara looking for the return. Gets there before Trabelsi. And that's well played by Jackie McNamara. Works it back to Petta. Early ball in. Chris Sutton looking for it, but it drifts away. Shibu lets it go. But that's, again, excellent build-up from Celtic. Petta with the cross, and great work before that from Jackie McNamara.
Yeah, Celtic are looking very comfortable now. Wonderful again from Petta there. He's such a threat in the wide area. He's full of confidence. He's keen to let people come close to him. He'll take the ball close to people. He's eliminating, and he really looks on form tonight.
Petta on the ball again. He was taken off early on at Kilmarnock on Saturday. He's truly back to fitness. Larson trying to win back possession. Free kick given against him, and Ajax in a hurry. And Mido on the wrong side of Agathe. Into the danger area goes Mido. Good header from Johan Mjalby. Mido again. That's Valharen. That's a very clever header. He stayed cool and composed. He didn't just head that anywhere. He headed it straight out to Didier Agathe. Agathe a bit fortunate to have kept possession. He's lost it now, though. Celtic don't want to be casual in those sort of positions. Van der Vaart couldn't punish him, and Agathe does better this time. The ball slipped under the boot of Lambert. Lapses in concentration. And it's taken out of the danger area by Tom Boyd. Leaves it for Sutton. Henrik Larsson. Switching it from right to left and bringing Bobby Petta into the game. Some tired legs out there. It's a tough shift. Celtic have put an awful lot into this, and you would imagine that Martin O'Neill will be thinking about freshening things up for Celtic before too much longer. Right now Celtic have slowed it down. Lennon and Lambert. Petta, every pass gets a round of applause from the supporters. Now Sutton. He has been absolutely immense for Celtic tonight for Sutton. That's McNamara spreading play wide for Didier Agathe. And at the moment Ajax are chasing shadows. Europe will be standing up and taking notice of Didier Agathe, you feel, after this sort of performance from him. Yakubu clears. A well-controlled header from Arveladze. Daniel Cruz. Ibrahimovic against Valharen, two giants. That's a heavyweight contest between those two. Yakubu to Hassanen, the two central defenders who've been sorely tested tonight, and they've been found wanting when Celtic applied the pressure. Christian Shibu having a look at what's on in the penalty box. Played beyond Ibrahimovic for Maklas, who made a good run across the box. Watched closely though by Valharen, and the header off target.
Yeah, that's Maklas at his best. He just sees the space, attacks the space, good delivery in, and he just gets too much on it there. Possibly better just getting a glancing header. But it shows you that they still have to be very concentrated, Celtic. It's a wonderful result so far. And if they can stop Ajax scoring again, then it's a fabulous result to take back to Celtic Park.
26 second half minutes played. So we're heading fast towards the final furlong. Celtic 3-1 ahead. If you've just joined us, a scoreline that will possibly take you by surprise. But it's certainly been merited. 5-star performances from Celtic so far. But as Eric says, Celtic don't want to be making any mistakes towards the tail end of the match, which will put a blemish in a showing which would sit alongside some of the best in Europe. Jos Valharen making a good run forward, but trying to play a 1-2 with Henrik Larsson. That didn't quite come off, and now he's heading all the way back to his defensive berth, and he's been covered by Chris Sutton, who is almost perpetual motion. Threatening an attack and bolstering the defence at the moment as well. Yakubu, pass deflected and cleared by Valharen. Wouldn't be there for Celtic, but it's out of any sort of threatening area. Now with Shivu. Avenues forward being cut off by Celtic for him. Forced into the square pass, and now has it back. Trying to pick up the pace. Arveladze couldn't get that controlled. Sutton with a delicate layoff to Lambert, and Didier Agathe is off and running. Having a look at what's on. Fired in beyond Larsson towards Sutton. Goal kick But again, that was a lightning break.
Didier Agathe is unbelievable tonight, Rob. He's been up and down the whole time. It's 60, 70-yard runs that he's making at pace. He's still getting back into defend. Okay, he's been covered at times by the centre-backs, but outstanding performance from him this evening.
Shot at Arveladze, the Georgian. Very experienced player. Van der Vaart, the youngster, alongside him. Now Yakubu. Belsier is, in fact, the right back, and wins himself a free kick against Bobby Petta's challenge, and like Agathe on the right-hand side, Bobby Petta up and down the line. On the left for Celtic as Ajax prepare to make another switch, and it's Yakubu who comes off, the defender, and it's Andy van der Meijden who comes on, and he's a midfielder, so clearly Adrian's left with no other option at this stage than to gamble a little. It's a defensive player off, a more attacking player on. And this free kick to come. Van der Vaart. And again, it's played beyond the strikers. And that's an easy take for Rob Douglas. The news from Ibrox is not good. Michael Moles has been sent off. Rangers down to 10 men. 15 minutes into the second half. Still the scoreline is at 0-0. But Fenerbahce now with a one-man advantage. Michael Moles red-carded, and Tom Boyd is holding his face and needing a little bit of attention.
Yeah, I think he's gesturing there, Rob, that perhaps an elbow was used, and I think Tom Boyd's pretty clear in who it was. Didn't see it in the replay there, but Tom Boyd's very incensed at what's happened there, and he's obviously clear that somebody lifted an elbow to him, or his head.
We're at the mercy of the Dutch television director here, so we can't really fully answer the question for you about what exactly happened there, but Tom Boyd clearly reckons he was elbowed in the face, and one wonders if it will turn a little bit nasty from an Ajax viewpoint as the frustration boils over in these closing stages. There's less than 15 minutes of regulation time left in the arena. And let me give you that scoreline again, because it sounds so good from a Scottish viewpoint. Ajax 1, Celtic 3. Petta, Agathe and Sutton, the goal scorers. Shivu to Van der Vaart. Ibrahimovic. Didier Agathe charged into the challenge. Shivu was able to get beyond them, and it's a good run from Romania. And that's a good block from Boyd. Played up for Larsson. And a free kick is given. He had to put up with a fair bit of physical stuff tonight, Larsson, but he's well able to cope with that. Martin O'Neill wanting to negotiate these crucial closing stages. He'd certainly settle for this scoreline to take back to Glasgow in 2 weeks' time. He wants Celtic to maintain full concentration, but he wouldn't complain if they knocked in another goal. And the way Celtic have performed here tonight, you wouldn't rule that one out. Van der Vaart for Miklas. Valharan judged that very well. Johan Mjalby. Neil Lennon chested down to Didier Agathe. Great movement off the ball from Celtic. Whenever the ball is played, you can guarantee that a couple of others are running off the ball to try and get it back and keep the moves going at it.
Absolutely, that's a team that are playing with confidence. They look a really professional outfit now, Celtic, whether it be from the composure in the mid-park area with Lennon and Lambert, to the real threat up front and the real physical presence of both Larsson and Sutton, and defensively they've been rock solid. The two wider players for me have been real stars tonight. They've worked tirelessly both defensively and defensively, and it's a really top-level all-round performance.
And the man who was trying to get the ball back there, Chris Sutton, he's been immense as well for Celtic, but it's one of those nights where it's really difficult to pick out individuals, fully wrong to pick out individuals, because this has been all about a super slick team performance from Celtic. Lots of graft and lots of skill as well to go with it, and real penetration in the final third. As we've seen from the 3 goals, and Celtic had 1 or 2 breaks in front of goal. Might well have been 5 by now when you think they hit the crossbar, and Fred Grimm produced a an unbelievable save to deny Sutton in the first half. Here come Ajax with Cruz. In the wide position, it's Van der Weide. Good ball in, and a good header from Johan Mjalby. Matt Klaas is waiting for it in behind him. Mido tries to play the ball in again. Bobby Petta at the far post, who just guides that one away from the substitute Van der Weide. And that throw-in wasn't taken correctly by the 21-year-old Ajax player, and Antonio Lopez Nieto says that's now a Celtic throw. That won't endear him anymore to the home supporters. Sutton the target man. Won by Passanen, but it breaks for Paul Lambert, and Didier Agathe is again in a threatening position. Agathe against Shivu. Lambert and Larsson forward and support, and that wasn't really what Didier Agathe was wanting. He was fairly static when Lambert played the return ball, and that one fizzled out.
Yeah, it certainly did, but it's unfortunate. Again, Lambert thinking that Agathe was possibly going for the 1-2. Might have been better keeping possession, something out, maybe having a shot himself, or at least trying to keep possession, but Celtic now totally in control.
Henrik Larsson. Indecisive play from Ajax, mistakes being made, concentration being lost, and Daniel Cruz guilty of a trip on Sutton here as he ran away from him with the ball, and a clear free kick. And some of the Ajax heads beginning to hang a bit low at the moment. You can understand why. And Celtic will hope that they can cash in again in these closing stages and just heighten the torture a little bit for the home team. McNamara's free kick driven in towards Larsson, looking for the overhead kick. Yakubu was there to touch the ball away from him.
I just wonder of when the last time a Scottish team scored 3 away goals in Europe. It's a fantastic feat to come away from home against a top quality opposition such as Ajax and to score 3 away goals.
I've had my fingers in the record books, of course I would immediately tell you, but that's what for afterwards. I think we'll have to find out when that was the case, but against quality opposition, this is a tremendous scoreline for Celtic. Van der Vaart trying to find some room. He's struggled so far. Mido. Valharan there first. Petta's header is dangerous. Sutton was there. Ibrahimovic. Not quite sure what he was going to do there. And he flipped it high and wide. Celtic don't want to lose another goal between now and full time, because a big difference, isn't there, psychologically even between 3-1 and 3-2.
Yeah, definitely. It's a lot of tired legs out there now. Celtic have worked tireless tonight. Every area they've covered, they've tried to press the ball, they've done that first class, really wonderfully pressing the ball in the right areas, and have been a real threat up front. So it's let's hope they can continue this and not lose another goal. If they concede one now, it would certainly give Ajax a lift, and would certainly tarnish what's been a fabulous performance.
Just 8.5 minutes of the 90 remaining. There'll be a little bit of stoppage time, but not a lot. And the prize is a big one for Celtic if they can maintain the hold they have on the game. If they can hold it right here, they're 90 minutes away from the Champions League with a 2-goal advantage. Sounds good, sounds impressive. And maybe if Didier Agathe gets his skates on again, it might be more than a 2-goal advantage. But Celtic will be fairly unconcerned at this stage about another goal. What is really important is keeping things tight at the back and not allowing Ajax back into the tie. They look closed out of it at the moment, but Celtic want to keep things as they are. They float it right down, keeping the ball. Ajax can come and get it. That's the message. Good play again from Agathe. Lambert. Good ball in, good delivery. Away by Yakubu, only as far as Petta. His cross ball. Sutton. Good header. Saved by Graham. He had a little look there, Chris Sutton, and he tried to loop that one over the top of the keeper, and he's disappointed he didn't make it 4.
Another wonderful delivery from Bobby Petta. There's only going to be one winner in the centre. softens the header just slightly, tries to direct to the back post, and that's a good save from Grim to touch it over from the corner.
He saw the goalkeeper a couple of yards off his line there, and you could see exactly what Chris Sutton was trying to do, and Grim was a relieved man that he could get back to tip that one over the top. Into the match for Henrik Larsson, and a first taste of European action with Celtic for John Hartson. He came on as a sub early on for Bobby Petta at Kilmarnock on Saturday, and now the Champions League qualifier for him the last few minutes. And here comes the corner kick. Jackie McNamara with it.
If Ajax thought it was physical before, Rob will certainly know that it will be now.
Yeah, Sutton and Hartson coming at them for the remaining minutes. 6.5 minutes left of the 90. Didier Agathe, another surging run, was played in for Valharen, and a desperate measures in the Ajax defence to force that one away. So not just Larsson, who's now gone for them, and Sutton and Hartson and Agathe and Petta to contend with in an attacking sense. That was just Valharen up, adding his considerable bulk to the latest Celtic attack. And Ajax looking disjointed and dispirited at the moment, and Celtic have hurt them badly tonight. Their confidence has been eroded as the match has gone on, and Celtic are running the show, and they haven't got an awful lot longer to go to complete what would be a fabulous result. Van der Meijde, his substitute, having a little shove at Bobby Petta on the way past, and Bobby Petta snapping at the heels of Van der Vaart in the midfield to try to win it back for Celtic. And even after 80-odd minutes of action, Petta still sprinting about the field, but with his socks pulled down, he is clearly feeling the pace. Van der Vaart on his left foot, and that maybe just sums it up for Ajax tonight. There was no great pressure on him. He was able to line up the shot from 25 yards out, and it went off the outside of his boot and nowhere near the goal of Rob Douglas.
No, all credit to Celtic, and certainly their back three. They're really defended exceptionally well tonight. They've not allowed Maklas to make those runs in behind. They've been prepared to step up. They've threatened the ball, and really only the opportunities Ajax have had have been from distance, obviously, apart from the goal.
Celtic about to make another switch, and it will be Steve Guppy coming on for his first taste of any sort of action with Celtic since signing from Leicester. And I wouldn't be surprised at all if it was Bobby Petta who goes off, and it's a straight swap, left midfielder for left midfielder, and Guppy agitated on the touchline, and he's desperate to get on. Neil Lennon, Petta, this might be his last involvement, and he lets the ball drift off Van der Meijde for a Celtic throw. Celtic will now make the switch, and as expected, Petta off. An outstanding showing from Petta tonight. The Celtic fans greet him, as does Martin O'Neill and John Robertson, and he scored the all-important opening goal after the 7 minutes of this match. And Steve Guppy on for some serious business with Celtic for the first time. There he is, his first touch. Sutton to Shibu, his socks down as well, and a definite tiredness about the Ajax players, and it's a lot easier to run about the pitch at this stage of the match when you're 3-1 ahead than it is when you're 3-1 down.
Well, there's no doubt about that, Rob. It's very, very difficult now for Ajax. As we said before, there's no real direction, there's no real leadership now. The tie's over, I would imagine, at this point. And Celtic have really performed wonderfully.
And maybe crucial for Ajax has been the absence of their skipper, the Czech Thomas Galasek, who plays a sort of holding role in midfield to protect the defence. He's not been there tonight because of injury. He's the skipper, he's the leader. And without him, as you say, they've been pretty much directionless. And if players like Aaron Winter, the experienced Dutchman, he's been sold to Sparta Rotterdam, he's out of here. And Richard Witschke, another Dutch international, another experienced player, he, after saying some naughty words about Co-Adriaan, is playing for the reserves now, Ajax too. And they're the sort of players that might have helped Ajax along tonight, because the balance is very much swinging towards youth and burgeoning talent maybe, but lacking maybe in a bit of street wisdom, and that's where they've lost out tonight, and they've been played off the park by Celtic. Van der Meijde, his cross charged down by the combination of Guppy and McNamara. And we have just 2 minutes of the regulation time left, and a little bit of stoppage to be added to that. So Celtic looking to keep their eyes fixed firmly on the ball. They've done so well so far, but they don't want to spoil it so near to the end. That's John Hartson, who's inherited Eyal Berkovic's number 10 shirt. Those two have been linked quite closely in the past. Little trading ground dust-up. And the shirt's gone from one to Sutton in the close season. And Hartson seems to prove that he can track it yet again in the big time. Another big money move for him. Ran as many clubs, and he's still just in his mid-20s. He's done a good job there on closing down Trabelsi as he went forward. Now Daniel Cruz. Wide for Mido. Again, it's a situation where he wants the ball ahead of him, not behind him. And that's a tired-looking cross into the box.
Yeah, it's all gone now for Ajax. There's no way back for them, Rob. There's nobody that's capable of giving them direction at this point. They look tired. They've worked hard. They've had to try and take the game to Celtic, especially in the second half. And they really haven't found any solutions. And it's becoming a very tired Ajax side that we see in front of us.
Inside the last minutes of the 90, just about 30 seconds to go. And we're still waiting to see how much time will be added on. You wouldn't imagine it's too much. And Celtic, who've piled so much into this action tonight, will accept the final whistle anytime. Van der Vaart for Ajax. Chipped over the top. There's a useful ball for Arveladze. Good header from Mjalby to cut it out. And a free kick given against the home team, which has Nikos Maklas hanging his head in despair. And, well, despair all around the pitch inside those red and white shirts. As we see, that 2 minutes will be added on. 2 minutes remaining because we've played now 45. We've played 90 in total. Chris Sutton with a little nudge on Yakubu. And, well, is this maybe his best performance in a Celtic shirt tonight? It can't be far short.
Well, I don't know if it's his best, Rob, certainly, but tonight he's been outstanding, both offensively and defensively. He's been a real threat from set pieces, from corners into the box, a real presence in there. But he's worked tirelessly. He's slipped into midfield at times to cover, and even for the back three at times he's been there in the left-back area, working tirelessly for the Celtic cause, and it's a very, very good performance from Sutton.
Yeah, here he is again on the ball. He's never hiding, Sutton. Always available, always wants it, even at times like this when he is absolutely exhausted. Trabelsi can't get through him. Played down the line by Steve Guppy for John Hartson. Against Pesanen, the defender, took a deflection off Yakubu. It took two of them to get that away from the Welsh international striker. Now Van der Vaart. Whistles all around the ground, looking for full time. Nikos Maklas. And firing a shot straight at Rob Douglas, and then having a go at Jos Valharen. A little altercation between the Greek striker and the Belgian defender. And you can see in moments like these where the frustration of an evening spills over. He's not happy.
No, I think he's just trying to say, Rob, that he lent into the defender. I didn't think there was a problem there. I think he did very well to hold off Valharen and get the shot on target. So obviously frustrated there, and not particularly good referee.
Full time in the Amsterdam ArenA. And absolutely brilliant for Celtic. Those are the only words to describe it. A superb performance. The Ajax heads are hung low in disappointment. And it's the Celtic supporters who are making an awful lot of noise. They're applauded there by John Hartson. And the trip to Holland has been well worthwhile. Paul Lambert adds his round of applause as well for the backing that Celtic have had. And the Ajax defence with Petri Pesanen at the heart of it, pulled apart by Celtic tonight. It has been a five-star team performance. 3-1 winners. Some grim goalkeeping early on from the Ajax number one helped Celtic out. Bobby Petta and Didier Agathe scored. Arveladze pulled one back. But by the time John Hodgson was on the pitch, it was 3-1 Celtic when Chris Sutton scored with that crushing header. An unbelievably strong performance, and Celtic's waiting in Europe will have shot skywards tonight.
Well, no doubt about that. It was a wonderful, wonderful result, but not only that, it was a wonderful performance. A real top-quality European performance. As we can see, the Celtic supporters delighted, and so they should be. They've come a long way, but it's been well worth the wait. Celtic haven't been obviously that dominant in Europe recently, but tonight will certainly take them forward into that stage, and it's a very, very happy Celtic team that will leave Amsterdam tonight.
You hesitate to say that Celtic are in the Champions League, but they've taken a giant stride towards it tonight in Amsterdam. They'll surely take a lot of catching in 2 weeks' time at Celtic Park after a momentous showing here, and that final scoreline of Ajax 1, Celtic 3.
An incredible night at that.